Shanthi Gonzales is Senior Manager of Candidate Recruitment and Training at the League of Conservation Voters, where she develops programs supporting diverse environmental leaders nationwide. A longtime labor organizer and advocate, she also served 2 terms on the Oakland Unified School Board. Tonight, Shanti shares lessons from 2 decades of grassroots leadership and how activism at every level, from school boards to national organizing, shapes the future. Welcome, Shanti.
Thank you, Parker. Hi, everybody. I'm Shanthi Gonzales. Nice to be here tonight. And thanks for those who are attending. I know you could be doing lots of other things tonight. So I wanted to just share some my lessons from my career journey. I started my career when I was 16. I had this amazing opportunity to work on a statewide organizing campaign with Californians for Justice. I grew up in Castro Valley. At that time, Castro Valley was not nearly as diverse as it is now. And I was often, well, I had no teachers who looked anything like me until I got to Cal State East Bay, actually. Um, but when I was 16, I was recruited to work on a statewide organizing campaign. It was a No on Proposition 187 campaign. And that was the first time in my life I saw people who looked like me in any kind of leadership role. And it was super powerful because I didn't realize until that time that there was something you could do if you didn't have power in your community, if you didn't have a real say in what happened in your school, and that was to run for office. I didn't understand the power of electoral politics until that point, and it totally shaped the rest of my career trajectory. And on that campaign, I learned a lot of skills that really have helped me later in my life, learning to make big asks of total strangers, to vote, a certain way, to give money to a cause. So those things have been really helpful in shaping the rest of my career. My first job, I was still at Cal State East Bay when I started working for SEIU United Healthcare Workers. I was a home care worker organizer. And actually, while I was at Cal State East Bay, I got to work on the Pioneer, and I actually got to be the editor of the newspaper for a while. So that was very cool. I won a journalism award, but I think the most powerful part of the experience was the writing skills that I got that have helped me really to this day. And every job I've had, writing has been an important skill. And so I really enjoyed that experience. One of the things that really shaped me, my experience at Cal State East Bay. And I loved organizing workers. The hours were long and there was a lot of travel. But the best part about that job was to see people take risks and do things that they were scared to do, that they didn't think they could do. And then to see that they actually could do things that they were afraid to do, and that they could have more agency in their lives as a result of that, right? Better worker and better wages, better healthcare, better retirement benefits. And these were pretty low income workers. So these were pretty transformational changes for a lot of them. So that was what I realized I really loved, and what I felt like I was put on this earth to do was to help people take those kind of risks to have better lives. So after that, I ended up in philanthropy for a little while. I was at the San Francisco Foundation and then the Women Donors Network. Philanthropy is a really nice place when you are burnt out and you need a break, because nobody's going to get fired if you don't do something. There's no emergencies in philanthropy. So it was kind of a nice break from kind of a really high stress job. And I learned a lot, but I really miss leadership development. And while I was in philanthropy, I decided to run for office. This is another way that Cal State East Bay affected my life after college, because my professors that I was still in touch with are some of the people who helped me find my first campaign staff. If there's any students on here, stay in touch with your faculty. You never know when those relationships might help you later on in your career. And it was really wonderful to feel like I had that kind of support, even many years after I had graduated from Cal State East Bay. I served as Parker said, 8 years on the Oakland School Board. It was both one of the best and one of the worst experiences of my life. I learned so much, and I feel like it really shaped me as a leader more than anything else I could imagine doing. And it was traumatic at times, especially during the pandemic. People don't show up as their best selves when they're afraid, and when the world is just really changing really fast around them. So no regrets. And I'm also really glad I'm not doing that anymore. And I am really happy to say that today I have the job of my dreams. I work for the League of Conservation Voters. I train candidates all over the country, environmental candidates who want to run for office. And I also get to help people who want to serve on boards and commissions. So we train people on things like Robert's Rules of Order and power mapping and understanding city budgets and how a bill, how an idea becomes basically a city ordinance or law. So that is really rewarding work. And Just wanted to share some of, well, so what's next is that I am in a training program with the Council for Great City Schools, and I'm getting certified to coach other school board directors. So um, I really want to help people become more effective school board leaders than I feel like I was able to be during my time on the board. Oakland, unfortunately, our academic achievement has not changed very much in the last, I don't know, 20 years. And I really would love to be in a role where I could help other board members feel like they had a bigger impact. What I wanted to just share in parting is a couple of my lessons learned over the course of my career. The first is that first campaign I worked on when I was 16 with Californians for Justice is the reason I have the job I have today. I met a man on that campaign by the name of Gary Delgado. He's an amazing social justice leader in Oakland, and he trained organizers, very young, people of color who wanted to go into the social justice field. And I met him when I was 16. And then when I was looking for a job in 2019, I happened to have met his wife, and she said, "Why don't you come over?" And I got reacquainted with Gary. And then when this amazing job opening came up at the League of Conservation Voters, he said that I should apply for it. And I did, and I got the job. And it has been just a really wonderful experience. League of Conservation Voters is a great place to work in case anyone's looking for work. And most of us work remotely, so you don't have to be in DC, although a lot of my colleagues are. So you just don't know where it's going to lead you when you get involved in something. So I highly, highly recommend get involved in your community, whatever that looks like for you. If you're into the arts, go apply for a border commission in the arts. If you're into youth stuff, apply for a border commission doing that. Join an organizing campaign because you just don't know where that could lead you in your career. Um, when I lived in Oakland, I was on the Oakland Library Advisory Commission, and those relationships really helped me when I ran for school board. Like a lot of those folks volunteered on my campaign, a lot of them gave money to my campaign. So yeah, you just don't know where it's going to lead to when you choose to get involved in something in your community. And the other thing I just want to say is ask for help. Like people are flattered when you ask for help brainstorming about career opportunities, when you ask for an informational interview to learn about how they got their job, what they like about their job, and get coaching. I have been working with the same coach since about, I think, 2011. She's helped me through a lot of career transitions. And it's so helpful to have an outside perspective, somebody who can help you identify your self-limiting beliefs and help you brainstorm about people that you already know who might be able to help you with your next phase of your career. So that's what I wanted to share. Get involved. You don't know where it could go, and get help. People like to help other people. So thanks, everybody.